Hi, this is Dave, and today we're going to do something just a bit different. Normally, I do a video explaining how I do a piece of art. Well, I've had people have asked me, how do I produce or how do I prep the paintings or the pictures I want to use for image transfers? And it's a kind of a lengthy process. It's not difficult. I use several things that are online, and there are a few things you're going to need. You're going to need a laser printer. Some people use inkjet printers. I haven't had success with that. Secondly, I'm using, there are a lot of programs that you can use. I'm using Firefly off Adobe, and I use Photoshop also to once I get the image that I'm looking for. So I'm going to jump right into it. We're going to get started. I'll explain things as we go along and try to make this as short as I can. So let's get started. So I've already got Firefly up, and I went ahead and preloaded the image in here. So I'm going to go over here. I made a prompt. It said create a line drawing of an image in high definition with heavy lines, and say remove the background. So there's my image there. Let me see what comes up. Okay, that's a pretty good image. And I want to leave it in that orientation because it's when I take it into Photoshop, it's going to be necessary. So right now, this is 4:5. Let's see what happens if I do it the other way around. Make it 5:4. There it goes. That made it that better because you can see that it's basically the same size as you would have for a piece of paper. So I take this and so you can see what it was over on this side and what it ended up being. So it did a pretty decent job. It removed all the background. So I can close this up. Now I'm going to go over to Photoshop. And on second thought, I'm going to go ahead and open a file to see what I have here. I'm going to go over to Recents because we just did this. And we'll take this one. Open. We have the file there. Now we have the three girls, and each one of the girls is ready to go. Now if I could print it like this and print it exactly like that. Okay, you can see I ended up with the first print. So I'm going to keep that one because a lot of times it's good to have that if you want all three or an entire painting. I'm going to run it through my printer a second time, and there's reasons for that. I want to make sure that my lines are that the toner is enough there that it can grab onto, because it's important for the toner to be enough toner so that it repels. When you do this, the black lines or the toner is what is hydrophobic. So basically it will not soak through where the black is, and the paint will actually soak into wherever there's no toner. So that's how the image transfer actually works. So I'm going to go ahead and print this again. And you can see I got a darker line image, so that will work. In order to make this, for this one, I need to isolate each one of the girls. And so that process is going to be different with whatever program you're using. I just went ahead and I isolate each one of the girls, just put a frame around and copied. I'm going to go over and add a new layer over on that side, and close that off. Now I'm going to just print I copied, and I'm going to paste it. There we have it. Now in order to make that isolate, I've got to go in and get rid of the image or the stuff that I don't want. I'm just going to delete the background. Now all I have is the line drawings. So there's several ways to do that. I am in no way a Photoshop expert. I've been working with it for years and years. I know what works for me, but there are faster ways of doing things. And there are videos all over YouTube that will explain how Photoshop works for you if that's the program you decide to go with. So let me go over. Now I need to isolate this out. And in order to do that, I'm going to need to get rid of the other part of the image that I don't want. So I'm going in and making it a little bit larger. I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to erase these lines out. And I might just go ahead and take this out, cut this part out because it takes time. Okay, so I've got this image. Now I'm going to go in and again take this image you have here. I'm going to put it center. You can see why in just a second, because I'm isolating each one of these girls in their own file. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this into a smart object. Don't worry if this is all Latin to you. It's just what I do with it, so that when I increase the size of it, it's easily seen, it's easy to work with. Okay, so there I have the image, and from there I can print from that. For each one of these I'll do the same exact thing. I'll just show this first one for you for now. And I'm going to take that, now I can print it. So I've isolated the isolator out, and I have a picture that a line drawing of that first girl. I'm going to do the same thing with each one of these and show you the end result here in just a second. So I'm going to do that off camera. That was the first girl you saw me do. And I ran it through twice. This is the middle girl. Nice clean lines. It's dark, and that's what you want. And find the last girl that was on there. So there you have it. You have, and I can show you all three of them the same, three of them the same paper. So we have our images that we want to work with. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take them out, and we're going to do image transfers of those paintings. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back into my art room, and let's get to it. Typical with a image transfer, you're going to need to put down some paint to make the transfer itself. So I'm going to put down enough black to be able to make this work. I have enough there. Just trying to get enough paint down so that I can make this image transfer. You don't want a lot of paint, but at the same time, gotta have enough to be able to make the transfer. Okay. This is one of all three of them. You don't want I'm just trying to get as much contact as I can there. And this is real time, so let me just pull it up. You can see that I did get a good transfer there. You can see the lines. It actually looks like it'll pull up nicely. Let me clean up the plate just a little bit. Things I don't really necessarily want on the print that I'm going to do. Now, so I have my base picture here. I'm going to dry this off just a little bit. So I start with a very dry. And it doesn't take a lot because that paint is extremely thin on there. You can do the same thing by letting it dry naturally, but I'm impatient today. And you can do several things. You can actually color this out any way you like, but I'm going to keep it simple. We're going to just pull it up on white. Let's get a little ambitious here. We'll just put some color in here too. Okay. nice even coat. I'm going to use actually one of my old copies here. You can see what it looks like on the same paper. And it's kind of important that you move fast because it will not, it starts to dry, you're not going to get as much contact, you're not going to get as much up. You want to move fairly quickly. My preference with this to even this out is actually use my variant so they get good contact across. This is my catalyst wedge. It'll suffice for what I need to do today. Now, I wanted a really good print on this. I'd wait and let it dry completely. But like I said, I'm impatient today. That should be enough. Let's see how we did. You go a little slow. Because I got a lot of paint there. Let's see how we did. And you see, we got a decent print on this. If I'd taken more time and let it dry I wouldn't have had as many missing parts. But you can see, we did get a good image transfer. And it wasn't that difficult to do. So I hope they found this useful. This has been Thursday Train. Up before me was Gert Creates. After me is going to be one of three people, or one of three channels. It's either going to be Art by Julie E, Julie of Art by Julie E, Janice of Just Janice, or Corey and Adrian of Art's Really Cool. So stick around and see what they have to offer today. I want to thank you very much for being here. As always, if you could leave me a like and leave a comment. Let me know what you think, or maybe if you have any questions. I do answer all questions that I see in the comments section. And also, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe. I really appreciate it. It helps with the algorithm, help me grow the channel. So thanks again for being here today. I hope you found this useful. Bye for now.